wondered what vintage means and what it can offer to your interior? I'm here talking to Fiona Lyda from Spence & Lyda. Fiona, thank you for talking to me today.
Welcome.
So tell me a little bit about what vintage actually means.
It's interesting because it's bound up a lot with this vision of retro, and we've been trying to fight that concept, where I'd like to at least introduce the idea that it's not retro, it's vintage. And vintage just means anything that is not brand new in reality. It's about having an interior that has things in it that mean something to you, not just stuff.
So vintage then doesn't necessarily mean that it belongs to this era or that era?
No, that's right, it's really anything. And that's what Europe does so brilliantly, is the layering in the interiors means that there are pieces from every period put together, and that put together is what makes them exciting visually.
When you buy a new product, you know where the product comes from, you can see the country of origin, you know a little bit about the store where you've purchased it from. How important is it with vintage goods just to do a bit of research and actually know a bit about the origins of the product?
Well, quite honestly, I would challenge that about new product. I would love to think that people are actually doing that, because generally speaking, they're not. They know about the store, but no one's generally asking where it's made, and I think that that's a very important thing. And so similarly with vintage, same thing. If you look underneath pieces or in drawers of cabinets, you'll find a stamp that tells you what the company was, and often it'll tell you the designer. And often these pieces are made by really great designers, and so they're worth even more in the long term.
So what's more important, the person's attachment or love for this item that they've just found, or what the stamp says?
Both. The attachment to what you have is the single most important thing, but if we're paying sometimes significant money for these pieces, then it also makes sense to know whether or not you're buying something that's value matches that.
Fiona, you've got such a love of design and obviously of vintage wares. What would you like people at home to think about when they think vintage?
Well, I think that pre-loved pieces carry their love with them, and we're trying to make homes that nurture us in this ever increasingly rapid world. Give to yourself.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me
Pleasure.
today, and it's been great to talk to you.
Thanks.